Webster Tarpley in Washington, D.C., directing your attention, as always, to tarpley.net. And on there you'll find the various commentaries that I've done in the past week for Russia Today this afternoon, and that means Friday the 19th. As we're taping the show, you can tune in to Russia Today and see Crosstalk with Peter Lavelle. That's a half-hour interview program on Russia Today. And there you'll find me with Andrew Young, who is a Chinese expert based in London, and we talk about the question of the Dalai Lama. Now, by the time you hear this, that program will have aired. However, you can go to tarpley.net, or you can go to the Russia Today YouTube site and watch an excerpt of it, where I'm talking about the Dalai Lama, and you can also go and, I believe by that time you'll be able to get the whole half-hour program through one or two links there from Russia Today. So keep up with that, and of course, it's always tarpley.net. Now, turning our attention away from the looming danger of a U.S. attack on Iran, which is back on the front burner after more than 2 years where it was off the front burner. These are not the eternal verities. This is a shifting situation, and the tides of war and geopolitics have now put the attack against Iran back on the front burner, as we've documented in the first segment. Now let's look at the U.S. offensive in Helmand province, and I think we can now give a diagnosis of what this is about. The goal of the attack in Helmand province is simply to drive the Taliban out of Helmand, out of southern Afghanistan, and across the border into Pakistan. It is the tactic that we've stressed repeatedly on this program, to export the Afghanistan civil war into Pakistan, leading to a general insurrection and rebellion of the Pashtuns on the one hand, and of the people of Baluchistan on the other. And it's Baluchistan that is targeted by the current operation. You notice, this is no longer the frontier sort of in the eastern side of Afghanistan that faces Pakistan, opposite such places as Peshawar. This is now the part that faces Quetta, that faces province known as Baluchistan, which is an ethnic group which is shared between Iran and Pakistan. You get the extra added benefit of stirring up the Baluchis on the Iranian side as well. Look at the question of the pre-announcement of this offensive, right? Everybody in the world was scratching their heads for several days. Why does the U.S. NATO command announce in advance what they're going to do? And we saw this General McCaffrey, right, this mercenary character who comes on television and talks, saying, well, of course, we don't care whether they know we're coming. We want them to know we're coming, because the only thing we really want is for them to get out of Helmand province. Yes, get out of Helmand province, General, and go into Pakistan, which is your real target in this. You dare not avow it. You do this as an oblique war, right? It's an indirect war waged against Afghanistan, but the real target is Pakistan, and of course beyond that, it's China that's the target. This is now a growing awareness, and there are various places on the internet, including sites friendly to the Taliban, but so what, that focus on this, that in a very real sense, in the deepest sense of reality, the U.S. offensive in Helmand is designed to target Chinese economic interests in Baluchistan, and above all, that critical port of Gwadar. We know that in the lower left-hand corner of Pakistan on the map, that is to say in the extreme southwest corner of Pakistan, sort of like San Diego in the U.S., right, if you think of it, there is this port called Gwadar, which is one of the largest projects being built by China in the overseas territories outside of China, and it's a port which could play a very critical role in providing oil for China. And everybody can see that if you have tankers coming from places like Kuwait or Saudi Arabia, where maybe an oil pipeline is a little bit more difficult to build or doesn't exist for the moment, you could have those tankers come and dock in Gwadar. Then you have a pipeline from there that goes up through Pakistan, Pipelinistan, as it's called, crosses the Himalayas above Kashmir, and goes directly into China. So that China would cut, 10,000 miles off the tanker trip, right? Otherwise, you have to go all around the southern rim of Asia. You've got to go past India, which is obviously not a good thing from China's point of view. You got to go through the Straits of Malacca, where the Anglo-Americans run wild and sponsor pirates and use the pretext of pirates to stop everybody and harass them, and on and on and on. So this port of Gwadar. Now, look at what the U.S. is doing. The assault is on this place called Marja, and again, this is the Helmand River Valley. So you're going to drive them down the Helmand River Valley into what? Into Pakistan, into Baluchistan, because that's the ethnic group that you're dealing with. This is not so much the Pashtuns as the Baluchis, and whatever you drive out of Afghanistan, in any case, it's going to simply be a wash of these fighters, enraged, antagonized, bombed, families killed, friends killed. You push them into Pakistan, and where are they going to be? They're going to be slightly north of Gwadar. They're going to be in Baluchistan, and this is now a theme in the Pakistani press that the Pakistanis have got to take special measures now to defend the Chinese economic interests in this quadrant of Pakistan. And when you see alleged guerrilla attacks beginning in the area of Gwadar, right, make Gwadar into something like Peshawar or other cities in Pakistan, you will see the goal of this. And again, remember, this is looking at various accounts of this offensive being written by left liberals. They just don't get it. The business with Afghanistan is a cover story. It's a pretext. Afghanistan is not the hub of the world in geopolitical terms in that way. But rather, what they're striking at is the line that goes from Iran across Pakistan and into China. When you think of Iran, always think Iran is the primary oil source for China in the future, according to at least one major option that the Chinese are trying to develop. Right now, it's about 10 to 12% of the oil of China, right? Less than Saudi Arabia, which is 22%. But with Iran, because of the lay of the land, geographically, geopolitically, you can start your pipeline in the Abadan refinery area, and the oil fields, which are on the northern coast of the Gulf. You can then have that pipeline come across Iran. It goes into Pakistan, precisely in Baluchistan, and then it crosses into Pakistan, goes up through the Pakistani energy corridor, crosses the Himalayas, and goes into China. And with this, you get a land-based, relatively safe vis-a-vis the Anglo-American naval supremacy and their Indian auxiliaries, as well as others, and you get a guaranteed oil source. So this is a thrust. The Anglo-Americans are lunging towards this future Chinese oil lifeline, and that is the significance of Baluchistan. That's why an offensive in Helmand at this time. Back in a minute.